Yo, what is up guys? Nick Nakai here. Well, that's Drift Media. Thank you guys for coming back to the channel. So today's episode is going to be the final, and probably only, but day in the life as a Toyota technician. I filmed this video before I quit my job as a Toyota technician, so a lot of you guys may know that by now. I'll give you guys an update on where I'm at coming up soon in the next couple of videos. So hope you guys enjoy this episode, and shout out to all the homies at Toyota. Love you guys, and I'm really gonna miss wrenching with you guys. But anyways, let's get started with today's video. But before we get started with today's episode, do me a favor, join the Discord, guys. If you guys are PC guys, even on mobile, if you guys are Discord users, I'd really appreciate it if you joined our server. We have over 100 members right now in there, and it's pretty active. People talk a lot about tools, work-related content, stuff like that in there, and it's kind of popping off, so I really appreciate it if you joined it.
All right, guys, well, welcome to my stall. A little messy right now. This is a Tundra I've been working on. It's only got like 100 miles, but the rack and pinion was leaking. Somehow, manufacturer defect. So I went ahead and replaced this yesterday. And now all I gotta do is do an alignment. Morning, Alex! We're filming today. Day in the life type vibes.
Yeah.
iPhone style.
All the clusterfucks will get?
Yep. So we got Alex over here. Piston rings. Just put this motor back together. See if it starts.
Hopefully.
First start after engine overhaul. We got it.
Guys, I have a job.
Our morning routine, going to Starbucks.
Yeah.
You guys remember Freddie, the homeless guy? All right, got our Starbucks. Freddie, what do we got lined up today?
Upsells.
Not his lineup.
Watch out for that pole, dude.
You still going? Goddamn.
Dude, look how beautiful your beard looks in 4K.
It's in the sunlight, dude.
Imagine what's
Brings
lined
out
up.
my browns, dude.
All right, here at the alignment rack. Gonna do a quick little alignment. Check out what Adrian's doing. Adrian, what do we got going on over here?
Got a lower control arm on a 21.
Another 21?
Yeah, 14,000 miles.
Why are we replacing these?
Very common. I don't know why the bushings make noise. Sounds like a mattress.
Oh, okay.
So it's pretty common on these and the Corollas.
All right. All right, well, toe's pretty off. I figured so. Thought I was gonna get closer than that, but just gonna set the toe and go for a test drive, make sure we're all good. Alrighty, so got the front toe adjusted. You can see we're pretty close, pretty spot on. Just gotta snug everything up and then go for a good test drive. All right, well, test drove it a couple miles, steering wheel straight. We're good to go. On to the next car. All right, before we get started on this next one, it's a front and rear brake inspection and an oil change. Just wanna show you this one really quick from yesterday. They were complaining that the front turn signals don't work. So I go under. Hopefully this camera will pick it up. And here's the harness. Both sides are just ripped off like this. It's supposed to go into this housing right here for the bulb. And the bulb socket housing isn't even in there, so that's why their turn signals don't work. We'll see if they want to repair that. All right, so this is the vehicle for the brake inspection. The pads are still good. I would not recommend pads. but the customer is complaining that there's a lot of vibration while braking at highway speeds, so more than likely they overheated these rotors. So they want me to go ahead and resurface the rotors, pretty much do a front brake job. So down over here too, I have a check engine light. I'm gonna go pull the codes on that. So let's see what kind of fun we're gonna get into with this one. I like to use my pocket scanner when it's just a check engine light. It just gets a lot faster than pulling out the big laptop, running a health check. This I can just like that, get the code. So evap, small leak, 79,000 miles. I don't think it has a leak or anything big leaking. I'm gonna go ahead and check the gas cap. That is not really even tight. You can see just barely loosening it. Probably worn gas cap. So I'm gonna start with the gas cap and then do an evap test to make sure that the leak's gone. That was a really easy one. Sometimes you get lucky like that, but that feels like trash. Alright, we got our gas cap. I'm gonna go ahead and throw it in and then perform that evap test, make sure we have no further leaks, and we should be good to go. Start on that brake job. Go check on Freddie. How we doing? We making money today, Freddie?
Fuck no.
Doing a nice oil change. That's some big money, right? Alright, so we got the evap test passed, no further leaks. Anytime you get like a small evap leak though, don't just jump to the gas cap. Be sure you do your preliminary checks. Check under the hood, check the vent hoses, all the evap lines running from under the hood back to the charcoal canister, and just take a look under the car, because you never know, sometimes you can find like end up being a cracked line or something like that, or just a loose fitting, something like that. So double check, guys. Alright, well, before we get to that brake job, typical, got another recall fuel pump on this Camry, as well as another recall on a Tacoma, installing a third brake light seal, and still got to get that the brake job done and the oil change. And of course, they want all of this before lunchtime. Kind of reminds me of what I was talking about in my things I hate about being a mechanic, is they want all this work done, they write up all this work. Yes, it's good to have work, but they want it all done before lunchtime, which makes no sense to me. So probably some of it's not going to get done before lunch. Just telling you that right now. Also working in the dealership, anytime you find floor mats aftermarket like this, we have to move them to the side. This is clearly a hazard and cause the accelerator pedal to get stuck. I don't know how some people even put these down there like that, but we're gonna go ahead and move that over. Just realized not one, but two aftermarket floor mats riding right there on that gas pedal. What the hell, man? All right, these are the Camry fuel pumps. Probably my favorite, so you don't have to drop the gas tank. Got the fuel pump assembly right here. Pretty much gonna pop this out, remove the connector, install the new pump, reassemble, put a new O-ring, and throw it back in the car. So pretty much this recall, what's going on is there's a chance water could leak in through here and go into the cab, causing mold and stuff. So the drivers aren't going to know. It's just going to be wet underneath the headliner. So we're basically going to put some sealant around here, all around there, and we put this nice little cover on there. It actually looks a lot better with this on this piece of trim, so go ahead and do that right now. All right, we got that cover kit on there. I don't know, let me know. To me it looks a little cool, but I do not know how that little spider got inside there. But on to the next now. I think now we can do our brake job. All right, now we can start on the brake job. Got this new brake lathe, on-car brake lathe. It's pretty badass. So now I'll just set up a time lapse for you guys. Do this rotor on this side. Go for a test drive after we complete it.
I don't understand why you're
Had to cut that rotor twice. That first cut, you guys saw there was still spots of mist. So these rotors were pretty bad. I'm gonna go ahead and resurface the other side, then just slap the pads back together. Then we'll go for a little test drive. And then it should be lunchtime. All right, so we are all done with the front brake job, resurface, as well as the oil change. Anytime you do a brake job, don't forget to pump the brake pedal. You don't want to be that guy that drives into someone's toolbox or backs into another car. So now we just got to test drive this, and then it's lunchtime. All right, guys, so we are back from lunch. Got 2 tickets remaining. See if anything else comes in. This is a 2011 Highlander. Got about 85,000 miles. Customer states check engine light and traction light are on, which they are. So let's pull it in and pull out the code reader and see what we got. All right, we got my handy dandy little scanner. Let's see what we got. Wow, what are the odds, guys? 2 evap small leaks in one day. So we'll check under the hood. I'm gonna check the gas cap though, because 99% of the time it's the gas cap. This one feels pretty tight. Looks a little worn though, so it's possible it's not sealing. Go ahead and check under the hood just to make sure we don't. Feels funny though, but we'll check under the hood anyways. So usually when I come underneath here, oh, this vacuum hose isn't even on. Let's not put that on. Surprised that didn't cause a lean code. Somebody's probably been in here. Usually when people take off this air filter box to inspect the air filter, these little vacuum lines will pop off. But I usually just come in here, check all these hoses, just because sometimes they are just loose or cracked. And you want to be sure. And customers spending about like $140 for a diagnosis. You don't want to just jump to conclusions. But it's looking pretty good under here. Alright, well, went ahead and got some hose, fixed that hose because it was a little loose. Went and replaced the gas cap, performed an evap test. No leaks as of right now. So, just will ship the car, see what happens, but we should be good to go. And if there was a leak, it would have popped up when we did the evap leak test. That is pretty crazy though. I don't think I've ever had 2 gas caps in one day, 2 exact fault codes, so what a coincidence. All right, next ticket we got here, 2018 Toyota Sienna, 65,000 miles. Headlight, low beam, inoperative, replace bulbs, still does not work, check and advise. So I'm gonna pull it in, probably obviously verify that the low beams aren't working, try and see what's going on with that, check see if the fuse is blown. If they already replaced the bulbs, there's obviously a problem. So let's just pull it in and we'll see what happens. All right, well, I have to call the service writer, see what's going on. Low beams are working. Not too sure what they're talking about. Oh, this one right here. Okay, I was gonna say. All right, so we confirmed the passenger headlights not working. Realized they have aftermarket HID bulbs in, but that shouldn't really matter too much. So I went ahead and checked for power. On the right side, of course, we're getting power. That's why this one's working. But coming over here to this connector that goes to the headlight right here, we are not receiving voltage, or at least not enough. You see that's in millivolts. Should be getting about 12 volts at least if the car is commanding power to the headlights. So I'm gonna go ahead and check the fuse. Maybe it's a possibility they pop the fuse with these aftermarket headlight bulbs. Maybe. All right, so we got the headlamp fuse right over here. Headlamp, left hand, right hand. We go ahead and pull out that right hand fuse and see. Actually, there's no fuse in here. Somebody's definitely been in here. Yep, headlamp 15, 10, 15, 7.5. Yeah, it's completely missing the right hand headlamp fuse. I have no idea why, so I'm gonna just grab a spare 15 amp fuse and pop it in there. All right, let's get this fuse situated in here. It's really strange when you run into cars like this, just like why? Like, why? Wow, sure enough, we're getting 12 volts now to the passenger headlight. So I'm gonna go ahead and plug in both headlight bulbs now, just to verify the repair. See right there, 12 volts. All right, well, plugged in both headlights. This one's still working. This one's still not working. So only other possibility it's gonna conclude to is this bad aftermarket HID bulb. I'm gonna look around, see if I have a stock bulb I can put in there. But more than likely, this HID took a crap. I think the customer decided to try and figure it out himself. Just working around in here, messing with things, but if we're getting voltage and ground, there's no other possibility it could be than that bad bulb. All right, boom. Getting power, determined it was this bad aftermarket. It's not even HID, it's more like an LED. Kind of threw me off since I tried to turn it on and it still wasn't working. So I went, ooh, shit. Sorry, almost burned the car up right now, putting the hot headlight bulb on there. But yeah, it threw me off because the light still wasn't working, but apparently this thing's shorting out internally. And what happened when I went to turn it on, it just popped the fuse again. So I wasn't getting power again when I put the new bulbs in. So I put yet another fuse, made sure this was not plugged in, and put a regular headlight bulb in there, and it worked fine. So case closed, gotta get rid of these aftermarket things, or at least replace them if they do want to run these LED style white bulbs. But yeah, I'm just gonna recommend factory headlight bulbs. Call it a wrap. All right, well, the bulbs are good in the Sienna. Now I have no work, so I'm just gonna probably hang out. It's kind of close to the end of the day. Probably be an early day again since it's been pretty slow. So here we stand. At least made some decent hours today. Hope you guys enjoyed it so far. All right, guys. Well, I waited around for like an hour, hoping maybe I'd get some work, but nothing came in. So I'm just gonna call it a day. So hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace!
Hey, Bill, I'm in the mood for a switch up. I hit the function, hit the rose till I hiccup. I hit the stage and leave with money that's a stick up. She picture perfect, so I told her